What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here. So you've come back to Destiny 2 and you don't really know where to start. But luckily for you, my best friend just got back into the game as well. So I've been texting him just some stuff to do, kind of where to focus. And anyways, I thought it might be helpful if I just made a quick video on some of the stuff that I'm telling him. So he was talking about leveling up, and I quickly told him, do not worry about leveling up. You're going to want to go to the Hall of Champions, which is where I am now. You go up to Shaxx, which again is where I am. And then there's this thing called the Gift of the Thunder Gods. You come up here and there's an entire armor set at the max power level. Like, this is the highest power level you can get right now. And weapons in every slot at that max power level. And like field prep chain reaction, that's not even a bad roll. I haven't even really looked at the rolls. But anyways, you're going to want to pick these up because that will save you all the time in the world leveling. So that is the first thing that you're going to do if you're picking Destiny 2 up like this month to get ready for the final shape. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to come to the helm and you're going to just pick up some stuff for each season. So these are seasonal heirlooms. So if you grab this, then let's see what it says. Used to collect Defiant Keys, Defiant Engrams. So yeah, that's what you want. So as you do Season of Defiance seasonal activities, you're going to get Defiant Engrams, and then you can focus them into these and you will get what's called a red border. And if you get 5 red borders, then you can craft these weapons. And what I told my friend is the first one you want to go for is Royal Executioner, and the other one you want to go for, in my opinion, is Regnant. And this Prodigal Return isn't bad either. But yeah, these are kind of the 3 weapons you want from Defiant Engram Decoding. And I'll just show you where you check your patterns. So you come to Collections and then Patterns. And then here you can see, so I have 5 out of 5 on like every gun in the game. But yeah, you'll be able to track that. So when you get a red border, you can extract its pattern. And then when you get 5, you can craft it. And I'll tell you how to craft in a second. But the other thing I want to focus on, again, is what I told my buddy. So as you get Defiant Engrams, you can also focus these into armor. And on this one specifically, the Defiant Engrams, you can get really high stat armor. Like, I've turned all mine in. But you can pull this. And what you want to do is you want to focus on Resilience and Discipline. Resilience helps you survive. You can see it says damage reduction 30%. So this is going to reduce your incoming damage by 30%, which is actually significant. So you must focus 100 resilience first and then try to spec out for discipline. You don't really need to know why, just know that that's what you want to do. And then you put a discipline armorer on your ghost mod. So you can level up your ghost. So see, this one is just level 1. So get some shards and glimmer. You can level this up to 10. And you don't even really have to. You just have to get it up to 2 if you want it, if you're like really broke. So anytime you're decoding engrams for armor, then you want to make sure you have discipline armorer on. Because what that will do is it'll give you 2 spikes out of these 3, mobility, resilience, and recovery. And then it will give you 1 spike of discipline and then low spikes of this. And that's what you want. Intellect is no longer useful. Like, if you used to play the game, you probably spec'd out into it. This is no longer really useful. I'm not a big strength guy, maybe on Titan. Mobility is good on Hunter. But at the end of the day, you want resilience first and discipline second. So just know that. So I said I would show you how to craft. So I'm just going to show you where I was. So I started in the Hall of Champions. So you go to the Into the Light node and then Hall of Champions. And that's where you find Shaxx in that upgrade chest. And then the helm is here. And then that is where you get all those different vendors. I showed you the Defiance ones, and I'll show you the other ones here in a second. And then to craft weapons, so here I'm on Savathun's Throne World, and then you scroll over here and you click on the Enclave, and then you hit launch, and then you just run down these steps. There's some steps up there, that's where you load in, and then you come to the Relic, and then you go Shape. And again, this is when you have 5 of your red borders extracted. So when you do, if you don't, these will be blanked out or they won't be visible at all. But when you do, then you can craft your Royal Executioner. And this costs quite a bit of currencies and stuff like Glimmer and Enhancement Cores. I'm not really going to go into how to get all of those because, yeah, it's just kind of long. But anyways, 35,000 glimmer and 6 enhancement cores just to start the crafting. And then once it's crafted, you can spend more to level it up. And then once it's leveled up, you can unlock all these different perks. So once you get to like level 17 or 16, you can get enhanced reservoir burst. And you see it says it costs an ascendant alloy. You don't have to worry about that so much. If you're a new player, just try to get like regular reservoir burst and regular envious assassin. It's still very good, and it only costs glimmer and cores. So yeah, that is how you craft. So this was the war table for the Defiant, the Season of Defiance. This is the one for Season of the Deep. And again, it's got kind of the same layout. So you would pick up this heirloom and then you'll get like engrams and stuff. However, none of these weapons, in my opinion, are worth going for. But I did just want to talk about that. Because again, I'm just trying to make this as easy as possible for you. You have less than a month to grind before Final Shape. So don't really waste any time doing the Season of the Deep missions. So I probably should have pointed it out. But these are the Season of the Deep missions. So again, unless you have done all your grinding and you just want to get some more weapons, these are the Season of the Deep missions. These are the Defiant ones. So those are the ones I would focus on first because you can get really high stat armor if you do that little trick I taught you. And then you can also get some of those good weapon patterns. And then we'll go to Altars of Summoning, Savathûn Spire, all this. Again, these also aren't really worth getting in my opinion, but I'm just going to show you where they are. And I think on the bottom right of my screen, I just saw that's my buddy who is getting back into the game. It looks like he just logged on. So sometime this week, I'm going to hopefully help him with some stuff. But anyways, if you were just curious, here is where you focus the Season of the Witch stuff. And again, I don't think anything from Season of the Witch is really worth getting. But if you have time, other than the Eremite. So I like Royal Executioner, that other solar fusion rifle that I said to focus, but you could also go for the Eremite. But all the rest of these are pretty much useless in my opinion. So yeah, start with Season of the Defiant engrams. And then there's one more season. So Bungie releases a weekly update called the TWID, This Week in Destiny. It's on their Bungie.net website. And they said that for every day that you do one of these seasonal missions, you'll get a red border. So you can crank out a lot of those patterns. But like I said, the ones you should focus on are the Defiant ones. Do them every day. And then you're going to want to do Riven's Lair or the Coil. The Coil gives you lots of loot, but it is quite long and can be challenging for new players, where Riven's Lair is much quicker. So if you're just trying to get your daily red border, I would just do Riven's Lair. Oh, and before I go in there, you'll also want to talk to Mara Sov, and she has a thing called wishes, and then you can do those wishes. They were on a weekly lockout, but they're probably available all to you now. So make sure you do all the wishes because you can get last wish weapons, and you're going to want to go after an Apex Predator. So this is the craftable one that you can get, and Reconstruction Bait and Switch is the God Roll. So if you're doing wishes, and there's lots of YouTube videos on how to beat each week's wish, then you'll definitely want to craft Apex Predator. It's a meta rocket launcher. And then, so this is the fourth. So I have some engrams here to turn in. So for these weapons, Subjunctive is really good. It can get a perk called Volt Shot, which is very strong. And this Adorative is actually pretty nice too. I think it can get Heal Clip, Kill Clip, or Heal Clip Incandescent, which are some solar perks that synergize really nicely. But the one you really want to go after is Scatter Signal. Let's see if I have it on my character. Yeah, I've got it on right now. So a lot of people run Overflow here and Controlled Burst. I prefer Slice and Controlled Burst, but regardless, you want to get this pattern first and foremost. So when you're running the Coil and stuff, those are the ones that you're going to want to be going after, is that one. And then the next one is Doomed Petitioner. It's a linear fusion rifle, and it can get some pretty good perks. So that is what I would focus on right away. And I'm just curious. So I'm just going to make sure I've got my Discipline Armorer on. So yeah, I just want to show you an example of me getting some armor and just show the stat distribution. Okay, so this is rolling pretty spiky too. Anything over like 63 is pretty good stat rolls. Unfortunately, we got crappy spikes. I would have wanted 21 resilience and then 9 recovery. So that was just unlucky, but a 64 total with 21 discipline is pretty nice. So here, again, on a warlock, this is pretty good. You get 28 recovery, 23 discipline. Now, I'm not sure why there's not 2 spikes at the top, because that's supposed to be how discipline armor works. So maybe it's changed since the last time I did this stuff. But anyways, so it doesn't just have to be the Defiant ones. You can also do this here. And like I said, that's kind of, if you're just returning, yeah, like these are pretty high stat rolls and very spiky. So that's a good roll. The 9 mobility is not great, but 21 discipline, 16 resilience, 66 overall. That is a really good chess piece. And you saw I was able to get it in like just a few selections. So a lot of it is RNG, obviously. But like I said, just focus discipline armor and just hope you get your spike on resilience and discipline, and then hopefully the rest in recovery. So yeah, that's what I would focus on there. So you're grinding away and you're doing your Defiant battlegrounds every day in your Riven's Lair, and even maybe you're doing the Season of the Deep and the Season of the Witch stuff every day to get your red borders knocked out. That's all well and good, but you're also going to really want to focus on Onslaught. I'll just go over some of the weapons that you can get. So what you do is you come to this little guy whose name is Arsight, and the prompt is way far away. He'll have some bounties here, and you just go complete those bounties, and then you're going to unlock attunement for all the different weapons. And how that works is if I run up here, and this is Luna's Howl, and I hold E, then I can attune to it, and when I'm running Onslaught, it's going to allow the drop rate to be higher for Luna's Howl. And then these are all the weapons you can get. So Midnight Coup, this is pretty much the best hand cannon in the game now. Firefly 1-for-all or Explosive Payload 1-for-all is like the purest god roll. So yeah, you're definitely going to want a Midnight Coup. The other one you really want, in my opinion, is the Mountaintop. Not this roll necessarily. This is just a random one I have. But yeah, you're going to want to grind out Midnight Coup first, in my opinion. Then the Mountaintop. Succession is really nice and has good rolls. And then Forbearance with Demo and Chain Reaction is nice, or Demo and Wellspring. Luna's Howl, I don't love it in PvE, but some people like it. Recluse is kind of shitty right now. Elsie's Rifle is kind of a PvP weapon, so if you're into PvP, get that. The Hammerhead is very, very good. Excellent Void Machine Gun, so I would definitely try to grind out one of those. Falling Guillotine, so Frenzy and Bait and Switch are both damage perks. This is like a perfect god roll. Jagged Edge, Sword Masters is what you're looking for. Impact Masterwork, which is what swords always roll with. Frenzy here and Bait and Switch is like what you want. But then Relentless Strikes is also nice for like long damage phases. And then Sword Logic isn't bad either. So yeah, very good roll right there. And then Edge Transit. After Midnight Coup, I would say this is the other one you want to farm, and this is the god roll you want. Envious Assassin and Bait and Switch, or Cascade Point Bait and Switch. Ideally, you'll get Shiny Roll with the double perks, and you'll get Envious and Cascade Point with Bait and Switch. That's like the most perfect roll. But yeah, Envious Bait and Switch, Cascade Point Bait and Switch, meta DPS options right there. You can see I have that roll on this other one because it's super, super good. So yeah, that is where I would be focusing your efforts, because like I said, there's a few good weapons from Defiance and from Riven's, Riven, and then the Riven's Wishes from Marasov can get you that Apex Predator. And then, like I said, focus some time in Onslaught. Hung Jury is really good as well, as is Blast Furnace. Every single weapon there is good. Like, you really can't go wrong. But like I said, probably the best ones, in my opinion, are Midnight Coup, Mountaintop, and Edge Transit. But as a new player, everything you get is going to help your arsenal tremendously. So if you did all that and you're looking for some stuff to watch, I'm just going to do some self-promotion here, because I actually do feel like I have some helpful videos. During this delay, it's been like 6 months, and I've been trying to put out lots of content that will help people. So I'm going to release this video on Monday, which means I've got a whole series breaking down every subclass verb, fragment, aspect, and ability. And if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, if we come here, see those little keywords on the left, Restoration, Radiant, Scorch, Ignition. Those are called verbs. I go through all those in the video. And then these are aspects. So you can see there's 3 different aspects on Solar Warlock. And then all the subclasses have a bunch of different aspects and stuff. So I've got one video breaking down every aspect on every subclass. So like Titans, Hunters, all their aspects. And then fragments are the same across all characters. And there's roughly 18 per subclass. So I have another video that breaks all those down. And then I have one that breaks down all the abilities. So every grenade, every melee ability, and every super. So like Daybreak, Well of Radiance, the 2 melees, everything. Everything is broken down in those videos. So that would be helpful. The next ones I would go to are, sorry, I just have to find them here. Again, this is what you should focus on. You can like watch whatever the heck you want, but there's a couple that I think would be really helpful. I just have to find them. This one. So if you don't know what good weapon perks are, I did like a 25-minute tutorial just breaking down like why certain weapons are good on certain weapons and not on other weapons. So like I said, Firefly One for All is really good on Midnight Coup, but it may not be good or as good on like a different weapon. So that video can really help you in my opinion. And the other one is how to build craft. So this one's 29 minutes, so pretty long, but I think I do a pretty comprehensive and good job just explaining kind of what goes into build crafting on like a macro level. And because you have to build for like the content that you're running and the playstyle you like to run, whatever. And then if you're a Titan, this is also like my favorite build in the game for just general play, and it's very strong. So maybe give that a watch if you're just looking for an easy build to copy. I do have lots of other builds on my channel, but yeah, I would start with that. The aspects, fragments, verbs, and abilities will really help you understand what the hell is going on. And then yeah, I've got god roll guides and whatever else. But yeah, it's better to kind of think for yourself. So if you just watch the what makes a god roll video, then you can kind of determine what god roll you want. Like Envious Bipod. This is a god roll in my eyes. So anyways, that's pretty much it. I really wanted to just stress to my buddy to spec into resilience and then discipline, and yeah, everything else. I hope that video helps him, and I hope it helps you. Sorry it's not very scripted or edited, but hopefully it's useful nonetheless. Anyways, thanks for watching. Take care.